My beloved child, I am still speaking and I want you to stay open, because what I am doing in you is still unfolding layer by layer, and each layer is making you stronger, calmer, and more secure than before, and even when you do not notice it day by day, change is happening deeply and steadily, because growth does not always announce itself, sometimes it whispers, sometimes it works quietly beneath the surface, and one day you look back and realize you are no longer the same person who once doubted, feared, or hesitated. And I want you to know that patience is part of your power now, because you are learning how to wait without worrying, how to trust without controlling, and how to move forward without rushing, and this patience will protect you from wrong choices that look good but lead nowhere, and I will sharpen your discernment so you recognize what is meant for you and what is only a distraction, because not every open door is your door, and not every opportunity is aligned with your purpose, and as you learn to listen to my voice more clearly, you will feel a gentle restraint at times and a strong push at others, and both are expressions of my love, guiding you safely toward what is best, and do not be discouraged when things take longer than expected, because delay does not mean denial, it often means refinement, and I am refining your character so your success will not destroy you but bless you and those around you, and as you mature, you will notice that your reactions soften, your words become wiser, and your choices become more thoughtful, because you are no longer led by impulse but by understanding, and understanding brings peace, and peace brings clarity, and clarity brings confidence, and this confidence will not make you loud or arrogant but steady and grounded, and people will feel safe around you because you are becoming a place of calm in a noisy world. And I will use that calm to draw people who are tired, confused, or broken, and through simple conversations and quiet kindness, healing will begin, and you may not always see immediate results, but seeds will be planted, and I am faithful to make them grow in the right time, and you must remember that you are not responsible for outcomes, only for obedience, and when you stay obedient, I handle the results, and this truth will free you from pressure and fear of failure, because failure is not the end, it is feedback, and I use it to teach, not to shame, and every lesson you learn will make you more equipped for what lies ahead. And there will come moments when you realize you are standing in places you once prayed about, speaking with confidence you once asked for, and carrying peace you once thought was impossible, and in those moments you will understand that I was working even when you thought nothing was happening, and as your life continues to unfold, you will learn to celebrate progress instead of perfection, grace instead of guilt, and growth instead of comparison, because comparison blinds you to your own journey, and your journey is meaningful, intentional, and valuable. And I am pleased with the direction you are moving, even when the steps feel small, because small steps taken consistently lead to great destinations, and I will continue to strengthen you when you feel weak, remind you of truth when lies try to rise, and surround you with peace when anxiety tries to return. And you will no longer be easily shaken by opinions, setbacks, or delays, because your foundation is becoming firm, and that foundation is built on trust, truth, and love, and as long as you stay connected to me, you will not lose your way, because I am faithful, I am near, and I am committed to walking with you through every season, every challenge, and every victory that lies ahead. My beloved child, I am still with you and I am still unfolding what I have placed inside you, because this journey is not meant to be rushed and your heart is still learning how wide my love truly is, and as you keep moving forward you will notice that even the quiet days carry meaning, because not every powerful moment comes with noise. Some of the deepest work happens when no one sees it but you and me, and I want you to understand that consistency matters more than intensity, faithfulness more than speed, and obedience more than applause, and every small step you take in the right direction is building something strong, something lasting, something that cannot be shaken later, and there will be times when you feel unseen or unrecognized. But do not mistake silence for absence, because I am closest to you in those moments, shaping your character, strengthening your resolve, and teaching you how to trust me without needing constant reassurance. And this trust will become your anchor when storms come, because storms will come, but they will not destroy you, they will reveal how deeply rooted you have become, and you will surprise yourself by how calmly you stand, how clearly you think, and how firmly you believe, because what once frightened you will no longer control you. And what once discouraged you will now motivate you, and you will begin to see challenges as opportunities to grow rather than threats to your peace. And this shift in perspective will change everything, because how you see determines how you move, and I am teaching you to see with hope, wisdom, and courage, and as your vision changes, your choices will change, and as your choices change, your future will open in ways you never expected, and you will start to walk with intention, no longer drifting, no longer reacting, but moving with purpose and direction, and even when the path ahead feels unfamiliar, you will trust that I am leading you, because familiarity is not the same as safety, and sometimes I must lead you beyond what you know to show you who you can become, and do not be afraid of the unknown, because I already stand there waiting for you, and I have prepared what you need for every step ahead, and when you feel tired, I will renew your strength, when you feel confused, I will give you clarity, when you feel afraid, I will remind you who you are, and you will learn to lean on me not as a last option but as your first response, and this will save you from unnecessary struggle and wasted energy, because you were never meant to carry everything on your own, and as you learn to release control, you will gain peace, and as you learn to trust, you will gain confidence, and as you learn to listen, you will gain wisdom, and this wisdom will guide you in moments when logic fails and emotions rise, helping you choose what is right even when it is not easy, and there will be moments when walking in truth costs you comfort or approval, but those moments will strengthen your integrity and deepen your influence, because people trust those who remain steady under pressure, and you are becoming that kind of person, someone whose words carry weight because their life aligns with them, and your life will begin to speak even when you are silent, because consistency always speaks louder than explanation, and you will notice that people start to come to you for advice, for comfort, for clarity, not because you have all the answers but because you carry peace, and peace attracts those who are tired of chaos, and I will use that peace to reach hearts you never planned to reach, and conversations you never expected will open doors you never imagined, and do not underestimate the power of listening, because sometimes the greatest gift you can offer is your presence, and as you listen with compassion, I will give you the right words at the right time, words that heal, words that guide, words that bring hope, and even when you feel unsure of what to say, trust that I am working through your willingness, because I can do much with a willing heart, and as you continue forward, you will also learn to forgive more freely, not because others always deserve it but because you deserve peace, and forgiveness will release you from burdens you were never meant to carry, freeing your heart to love without fear and move without bitterness, and this freedom will bring joy back into places where heaviness once lived, and you will rediscover joy in simple things, in laughter, in rest, in moments of gratitude, and this joy will strengthen you more than you realize, because joy renews the soul and restores perspective, and when you protect your joy, you protect your strength, and I will teach you how to guard your heart without closing it, how to be wise without becoming hard, and how to love deeply without losing yourself, and this balance will bring maturity that keeps you steady through change. And change will come, some expected, some unexpected, but none of it will be wasted, because I use every season to teach you something valuable, and even the seasons that feel slow or difficult are preparing you for responsibility you have not yet received, and when the time comes for increase, you will be ready, not overwhelmed, not afraid, but grounded and confident, because you have been trained quietly, patiently, and intentionally, and as this process continues, you will look back and see that nothing was random, nothing was pointless, and nothing was lost, because I was with you in every step, every delay, every decision, shaping you into someone who can carry purpose with humility, success with gratitude, and influence with compassion, and this is only the beginning, because I am not done with you, and what lies ahead will require the strength, wisdom, and faith you are building now, and I will continue to walk with you, guide you, correct you, encourage you, and strengthen you, because you are mine, and I am committed to finishing the good work I started in you. My beloved child, I am still speaking and I am not finished with what I want to pour into you, because your heart has more room than you realize and your future is wider than you can currently see, and as you continue to listen, I want you to understand that the journey ahead will shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more grounded than you have ever been, not by removing every difficulty but by teaching you how to rise above them. Because strength is not proven when life is easy but when pressure comes and you choose to stand, and I am teaching you how to stand without hardening your heart, how to move forward without losing your compassion, how to lead without becoming proud, and how to serve without feeling small, because true greatness flows from humility anchored in truth, and the truth is that you are deeply loved, fully supported, and constantly guided even when you feel unsure, and there will be days when you feel quiet inside. Not because I am distant but because I am teaching you to listen beyond noise, to recognize my presence in stillness, in ordinary moments, in simple obedience, and in small choices that shape big outcomes, and you must not despise small beginnings, because everything powerful starts small, even mountains rise from tiny shifts beneath the surface, and the discipline you build now, the habits you form now, The faith you practice now are laying foundations that will carry great responsibility later, and you will not always see immediate results, but unseen growth is still growth, and I am working in ways you cannot measure yet, aligning people, timing, and circumstances so precisely that when things unfold, you will know it could only be me. And do not compare your pace with others, because comparison steals joy and blinds you to your own progress, and your path is unique, your timing is intentional, and your calling is personal, and when you try to rush what I am shaping, you risk missing the depth I am building, so learn to trust my pace, because I see the whole picture while you see one step at a time, and each step you take in faith matters, even the quiet ones, even the hidden ones, even the ones no one applauds, because heaven sees faithfulness long before people see fruit, and as you grow, you will notice that your desires begin to align with mine. What once attracted you will lose its pull, what once distracted you will no longer satisfy, and what once frightened you will no longer stop you, because your heart is maturing, and maturity brings clarity, and clarity brings confidence, and confidence brings peace, and this peace will become one of your greatest strengths, because it will allow you to respond instead of react, to speak life instead of defending yourself, and to move forward without bitterness even when others misunderstand you, and there will be moments when people question your choices, your direction, or your obedience. But remember that not everyone is called to understand your assignment, and approval from people is temporary, but obedience to me is eternal, and when you choose obedience, even when it costs you comfort or popularity, you position yourself for growth that cannot be taken away, and you will begin to see how your life starts to produce fruit in unexpected places. Conversations will open doors, simple acts of kindness will change hearts, your consistency will inspire trust, and your integrity will create favor, because I honor those who walk honestly even when it is inconvenient, and as you walk this path, you will also learn when to let go, because not everything is meant to be carried into your next season. Some relationships, habits, and mindsets were necessary once but will become burdens if you cling to them now, and letting go does not mean failure, it means transition, and transition is proof that you are moving forward. And I will give you wisdom to know what to release and courage to release it without guilt, because what I have ahead for you requires space, and you cannot hold on to yesterday and fully receive tomorrow at the same time, and as you make room, you will notice a lightness returning to your spirit, a freedom in your decisions, and a confidence in your direction, and even when challenges arise, you will face them differently, not with panic but with prayer, not with fear but with faith, not with confusion but with trust, and your response will change the outcome. Because how you face a situation matters as much as the situation itself, and I am teaching you to respond from truth rather than emotion, and from wisdom rather than impulse, and this wisdom will guide you in conversations, relationships, finances, and opportunities, helping you recognize what aligns with your purpose and what distracts from it, and you will begin to value peace over pressure, growth over comfort, and purpose over applause, and this shift will protect you from burnout, disappointment, and regret, because you are learning to live from a place of connection rather than performance, and you do not need to prove yourself to earn my favor, you already have it, and everything you do now flows from that assurance, not toward it, and this will bring rest to your soul even while you are active, productive, and impactful, and you will discover that rest is not the absence of work but the presence of trust, and as your trust deepens, your fear will lose its grip, because fear thrives in uncertainty but faith grows in relationship, and you are growing closer to me every day, even when you do not feel it, and closeness brings confidence, and confidence brings boldness, and boldness opens doors, and some of those doors will lead you into spaces that once intimidated you, but you will walk in with humility and authority, knowing you belong there not because of your own strength but because I placed you there, and you will speak with clarity, act with wisdom, and move with purpose, and even if you make mistakes along the way, do not be afraid, because mistakes do not disqualify you, they teach you. And I am more interested in your growth than your perfection, and I will guide you, correct you, and strengthen you as you learn, and every lesson will sharpen you for what is ahead, and as this season continues, you will look back and realize how far you have come, how much you have changed, and how much stronger you have become, and you will understand that this was never about rushing to an outcome but about becoming someone who can carry it well, and the work I am doing in you will continue, steady, faithful, and purposeful, shaping you into a person who walks with confidence, lives with integrity, loves deeply, and stands firmly, because you are not walking alone, you are walking with me, and I will continue to lead you, guide you, protect you, and strengthen you every step of the way. My beloved child, I will continue to speak into your spirit and expand this message so your heart can fully receive the depth of what I am doing in your life, because this season is bigger than you realize and longer than a single moment, and as you walk forward you must understand that every breath you take is connected to a purpose that reaches far beyond your own comfort, far beyond your own survival, and far beyond your own understanding, because I am shaping you not just for today but for generations, and as you listen you will feel strength rising again and again like waves that never stop, because my power does not come in small portions, it flows without limit, and I am teaching you to live from that place of overflow where fear has no voice and doubt has no authority, and I want you to know that even on days when you feel tired, confused, or unsure, my strength is still working inside you, quietly rebuilding, restoring, and reinforcing every broken place, because I do not rush my work and I do not abandon what I begin, and every delay you experienced was not denial but development, every closed door was protection, every silent season was training, and every lonely moment was an invitation to know me deeper, and now those hidden roots are producing visible fruit, and you will begin to notice changes not only inside you but around you, because when you change, the atmosphere around you changes. People will sense peace when you enter a room, hope will rise when you speak, and clarity will come when you pray, not because of who you are by yourself but because of who I am within you, and you must stop underestimating what I placed inside you, because I never create anything ordinary, and you are not an exception, you are a deliberate design, carefully formed with gifts, timing, and positioning that fit perfectly into my plan. And even the parts of you that you once questioned or disliked are tools I intend to use, because nothing about you is wasted. Not your sensitivity, not your passion, not your questions, not your pain, and not your past, and as you move forward you will begin to see how every piece fits together, how your story gives you access to people others cannot reach, how your scars give you credibility, how your humility gives you authority, and how your obedience opens doors that talent alone never could. And there will be moments this year when you feel stretched beyond what feels comfortable, but do not fear that stretching, because it is proof that you are growing, and growth always feels uncomfortable before it feels powerful. And when resistance comes, remember that resistance is confirmation that you are moving in the right direction, because darkness only resists light that threatens it, and you are becoming that light, steady, consistent, and fearless, and even when opposition rises, it will not overpower you, because I have already gone ahead of you and prepared victory in places you have not yet stepped into, and you will begin to notice that situations that once drained you no longer have the same hold, words that once hurt you lose their power, and fears that once controlled you now bow to truth, because your identity is becoming settled, rooted, and unshakable, and I am teaching you to see yourself through my eyes instead of through past experiences, opinions, or temporary emotions, and as this understanding deepens, your decisions will change, your priorities will shift, and your confidence will rise, not as pride but as quiet assurance that you are supported, guided, and protected, and you will learn to rest even while moving forward, because true strength is calm, true faith is steady, and true power does not panic, and I am inviting you into that place of peace where you trust me even when you do not see the full picture, because you do not need to see everything when you know the one who sees all, and there will be moments when I ask you to take steps that feel bigger than you. But those steps are not meant to be taken alone, they are meant to be taken with me, hand in hand, moment by moment, and as you obey, you will discover that provision follows obedience, clarity follows faith, and breakthrough follows persistence, and the seeds you plant this year through kindness, integrity, prayer, patience, and courage will grow into harvests that surprise you, because I am a God who multiplies what is given with a pure heart, and you will begin to experience joy that is not dependent on circumstances, peace that does not disappear under pressure, and hope that remains even when answers seem delayed, because your foundation is changing, and I am building you from the inside out, strengthening your thoughts, aligning your desires, and renewing your vision, and you will start to dream again, not small dreams born from fear but bold dreams born from trust, dreams that stretch your faith and expand your capacity to believe, and do not be afraid of those dreams, because I placed them there, and I am responsible for fulfilling what I inspire, and there will be times when you must choose faith over comfort, truth over familiarity, and obedience over approval, but every time you choose me, you choose life, growth, and destiny, and you will never lose by trusting me, even when it costs you something, because what you release, I replace with something greater, and what you surrender, I transform, and as you continue forward, you will notice that your voice carries more weight, your prayers feel more focused, and your actions feel more intentional, because you are learning to live aligned, and alignment brings authority, and authority brings impact, and your life will begin to influence others not through force but through consistency, not through noise but through authenticity, and people will ask you how you remain calm, how you stay hopeful, how you keep moving forward. And you will know the answer even if you do not always say it. Because you are not doing this alone, and remember this always, even on days when progress feels slow, I am still working, even when you feel weak, I am still strong, even when you feel unsure, I am still faithful, and what I am building in you cannot be stopped by time, opposition, or past mistakes, because it is rooted in my promise, and my promises do not fail, and as this season continues to unfold, you will look back and realize that the person you once were could not have carried what you now hold, and you will understand why the process mattered, why the waiting mattered, and why the shaping mattered, because now you are ready, not perfect, but willing, not fearless, but faithful, not finished, but fully supported, and this journey you are on will continue to reveal my goodness in ways that strengthen you and bless others, and you will walk forward with confidence, knowing that every step is guided, every moment is seen, and every part of your life is held securely in my hands. My beloved child, I am speaking straight to your heart to light a fire of courage inside you that will never die, because today you did not just wake up to another ordinary day but to a moment chosen by heaven where your life and my purpose meet, and this is the starting point of the most powerful season you have ever known, a season where you will discover strength inside you that even the angels will marvel at. And I see you right now carrying memories of yesterday, wondering if you are strong enough for the challenges ahead, but hear me clearly, the same power that created the universe, opened the sea, and raised the dead is flowing through you right now, not someday, not later, but now. You are not weak even if life tried to convince you otherwise, you are not lacking even if past failures spoke lies to your mind, you are my chosen one, my warrior, my beloved, fully equipped with heaven's strength, and every lie that made you feel small, limited, or defeated is being erased. As I remind you who you truly are, born of my spirit, created with purpose, designed for victory, backed by heaven, surrounded by my presence like a strong fortress, and what you feel right now is not empty motivation but real power from the living God, filling your weakness with my strength, replacing fear with courage, washing doubt away with truth, and preparing you for victories you cannot yet imagine, because the battles ahead are not accidents. They are assignments meant to reveal what happens when my power meets your willing heart, every giant already defeated, every mountain already addressed, every closed door already holding a key in your hand, and you are not entering this season as a victim trying to survive but as a conqueror destined to win, because I knew you before time began, I shaped your soul with care, I saw every challenge you would face and gave you everything you would ever need to overcome. Your past does not disqualify you, it qualifies you for grace. Your pain did not weaken you, it prepared you, your tears were not wasted, they planted compassion that will bless many, and the world is waiting for someone who walks with real authority, who knows the difference between human effort and divine power, and that person is you, even if you do not feel it yet, because feelings change but truth does not. My spirit lives in you, my wisdom guides you, my favor goes before you, and today marks the start of your breakthrough season, where prayers, tears, and faith stored up in heaven are being released, not just so you can receive, but so you can become the answer to someone else's prayer, carrying power that does not fade, resurrection life that speaks with authority, worship that drives darkness away, love that heals hearts, and strength that comes from seeing yourself the way I see you, dressed in dignity, covered in favor, bold and unafraid, because fear and insecurity are breaking right now. My approval is louder than every lie, and you are my beloved, my warrior, my voice to hopeless places, breaking old chains, ending generational struggles, and transforming the ground you walk on, because every step you take is backed by heaven, every word you speak carries weight, and this is spiritual reality, not religion. The enemy may roar but you carry my authority, he may accuse but my voice speaks blessing, and your prayers are rising while answers are already falling. Dreams are not dead, promises are not forgotten, and this year will move faster than you expect as healing, provision, growth, and restoration accelerate, because true strength is not about what you do for me but what I do through you when you trust me fully, and your gentleness will become strength, your peace will calm chaos, your joy will defeat darkness, your love will open hearts, because you are chosen to carry my presence into your generation, guided, protected, empowered, and transformed. Your words carrying life, your prayers bringing change, your Worship shifting atmospheres, your life becoming a living message that draws others to hope. And this is the year where preparation ends and manifestation begins, where seeds grow into harvest, tears turn into joy, doors open, connections align, health is restored, minds are renewed, courage rises, faith deepens, and legacy is built, because you are not living for yourself alone but for generations, carrying prayers spoken long before you were born. Walking in favor prepared ahead of time. Stepping into a destiny shaped by my hand, protected by my power, and filled with my love. So rise with confidence, walk with authority, speak with faith, love without fear, and let the world see what happens when heaven flows through a heart fully surrendered to me.